are here for Spartan Up Podcast, and we are interviewing Dr. Stephen Cabral. What's interesting about this cat?
Holistic.
He did not become a doctor in a traditional way.
Yep.
And he's going to teach us some untraditional things.
Thank goodness.
Like cold showers.
No,
or
he
things you
knows.
may not have agreed with before you listen to him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my mother was into holistic medicine in the 1970s.
Let's refresh. Yeah, like the Western, what do they call that? Industrial complex of medicine. Let's give a little bit of a different perspective on it.
All right,
folks.
before we go too deep down that road, let's
go
introduce
listen.
who we
Love
are.
this
So
guy.
I'm Joe Sena, founder of Spartan Race. We've got Sefra, the seed huntress, to my left. And to the left of her, we've got Colonel Nye, out of the military after how many years?
32.
And we have
5 years ago.
the wonderful, the perennial Miss Marion, our producer and director behind the camera, who we love dearly, and Johnny Waite, who right now is directing Spartan Malaysia.
I think he's in Malaysia right now.
Yeah, with his kids. So.
Why do we do this?
Why do we
do
do
this?
this, Joe?
Because we want to build resiliency in your household. We rip you out of the bed every single day. Yeah. On Tuesdays, we do interviews like this, but every other day, we've got somebody shouting in your ear some tip on resiliency,
Can't get
grit,
enough of it.
Commitment, whatever it takes to make you a better person.
I'll do whatever it takes. I'm toned up.
But
All
let's
right,
dive
go
in.
listen.
Watch this whole interview. At the end, we're going to recap it. We're going to accentuate the points.
Yeah.
And then we might even throw a question out there. Don't forget to subscribe, because if you don't subscribe, we know where you live. We will send Colonel Nye and his team. They show up in black outfits for the black van.
Anywhere in the world.
I looked down to see what
Thought
pants
that
I
was
had
on
on.
hell.
All right, let's watch this.
Let's do it.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by Tiger Balm Active. Trust Tiger Balm Active for proven pain relief. Get new Tiger Balm Active in gel, rub, and convenient spray.
Or look for Tiger Balm Active at select CVS and Rite Aid locations. And visit tigerbalm.com to find the store nearest you. Pain happens.
Suffering is optional.
I was just thinking, I'm going to go off script here for a second. I was just thinking, we used to do this with one person. Now she's got assistants to assistants to assistants. You see what happens?
Amazing, yeah.
It just starts to grow out of control. Anyway, we are here at Fenway. We're here with Dr. Stephen Cabral. And we're going to talk about resiliency, grit, health and wellness, holistic health, finding the alternative medicine, right? So tell me what happened. You were 17?
So I got into this at 17 years old, and even at that point, I was just a sick young kid going from doctor to doctor trying to figure out what was wrong with me.
Where'd you grow up?
So I grew up right outside the city in Medford, Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you were sick like how?
Well, I woke up one morning and I had these glands just swollen out of my neck right here, swollen glands in my armpits. My heart rate was probably about 150, 160 beats per minute. And I knew something was wrong, so I go downstairs, talk to my mom, and she looks at me and she says, "I don't know what's wrong with you. We need to take you to the doctor." So that literally led to 2 years of going from specialist to specialist, doctor to doctor. No one had any idea what's wrong with me except for some elevated white blood cells. So
Your body was going after something, but nobody could figure out what.
and it was shutting down. So my immune system was shutting down. I eventually got diagnosed with Addison's disease, type 2 diabetes, what's called myalgic encephalomyelitis. A lot of people know it as like chronic fatigue, but it's daily flu-like symptoms, it's joint pain, it's hot flashes, all these things. And then finally, with rheumatoid arthritis and type 2 diabetes and Addison's, they could give me a diagnosis and then give me medication now to try to solve those problems.
How many pills were you on?
Well, it's quite a few. So one of the issues was that actually led me here, that I figured out later down the line, is I was on 3 years of antibiotics from ages 14 to 17 for some minor skin conditions. So what happened was that since 80% of our immune system's lodged in and around of our gut, that my immune system just started to shut down. So after 3,000 capsules of amoxicillin, there was nothing left to fight the pathogens or keep the good guys in check. So that was my story for about 2 to 3 years before I finally found and was introduced to what's called an alternative medicine practitioner that started to do deeper level underlying root cause testing.
And isn't it bizarre, like the best of the best wouldn't know that was the issue? That they just don't study nutrition very much.
Not only not studying nutrition, but if it's not on standard blood work, that's the only test they run. So they don't test saliva for hormones, they don't test hair tissue mineral analysis, gut-based testing for urine test, stool test.
Biome,
Yeah, exactly. So what I had to do was I had to start looking for my own answers.
What year was this, do you think?
I was about 19 years old, so about 2 years later, just literally by chance, this is 20 years ago. So when you look at, Medford, Massachusetts, there's not a whole lot of naturopathic doctors there and alternative medicine practitioners. So what I discovered, though, was a whole new world. And it's a world basically, as you just spoke about, with nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, in order to be able to change your life. But since I was so far gone, and they didn't give me any hope for getting better, I had to be the one to really seek out a lot of these practitioners.
And you stumbled upon somebody good?
A functional medicine doctor, and 20 years ago, again, very uncommon, but what he did was he got me on the right path. He's the one who discovered you're not producing enough cortisol. We always think of cortisol as a bad thing. We ramp it up and it causes all sorts of issues in the body. Well, it's also really bad if you don't produce any of it because it's a natural anti-inflammatory. It gives us our energy, our fight or flight for the day. So what I had to do was slowly just build back my body step by step, and that was a process of about 5 to 6 years.
What aside from finding a really good holistic doctor, what things did you learn from that we could take home?
Well,
like is there a drink or everybody wants a pill,
sure.
Right? So
I mean, the number one thing is that if we're not looking at our digestive system, then we're not going to truly be able to figure out the answer. Because we can eat the absolute best foods in the world, and I was eating the best foods in the world. The problem was my digestive system couldn't break them down, so I couldn't get the building blocks of the amino acids, the vitamins, the minerals. It just didn't matter. Sure. So what I had to do was eventually figure out that I have to rebuild my gut. And that doesn't always mean just taking a probiotic. A lot of times it's removing the candida overgrowth, the SIBO, the H. pylori that I had. Sure. Some people have parasites. So what we do is we just try to help people walk down that line of if there's some overgrowth. The answer is not always to add more sometimes, right? The answer is we need to remove first because we live in 2018, 2019 where we do not lack for anything. We don't want for anything. So a lot of times we need to start to remove. So we work a lot of times with the gut of removing what the overgrowth is, the SIBO, the pathogen, the candida. When I did that, and then I started to add back in the good bacteria, now I could finally manufacture my own B12 instead of taking it. I could start to make my own B vitamins.
And you became a doctor.
I did.
Because of all this?
Well, truthfully, I still wasn't on the path to becoming a doctor. I was very jaded to be. So originally I wanted to become an MD. I said, I'm going to do this. But then I got introduced to all these brilliant medical doctors, and they didn't have the answers for me. So I said, well, if they don't have the answers for me, why would I go back and study this? I mean, it's not like they're not brilliant. They are. It's just they couldn't help me because they specialize in acute-based medicine. So when it comes to chronic-based conditions, there's no help because you're not looking at something that's deeper in the body of what caused that symptom in the first place. Because I look at disease as a process of symptoms. If you have rheumatoid arthritis, well, you're going to have deterioration of the joints. If you have MS, deterioration of the myelin sheath on the nervous system. But what caused that? So my job is to ask why. So I was forced over a period of a decade from 17 to 27 to continue to ask why. At 27 years old, I met my mentor who finally pulled together this thing called functional medicine, which we use for advanced lab testing, Ayurvedic medicine, and genetics. So we pulled all of that together. I found my answer, and then I just went, like a dog with a bone.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so now what do you do?
So I'm a naturopathic doctor by basically study, but what I do is I combine Ayurvedic medicine, what's called bioregulatory medicine, orthomolecular medicine, Ayurvedic, all the different practices.
So somebody comes in. Let's walk me through. Somebody comes into your office today.
So the number one thing we do is we don't forget the 6,000 years of Eastern-based medicine. Traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, Greek medicine, all of those. But what we need to do is learn how to apply those by using state-of-the-art lab testing. Someone come in and they, let's just say with Spartan, they're starting to get, their times are gradually going down. Now, they could blame it on age. Or they could say, what's going on right now? Why am I becoming more catabolic instead of more anabolic, naturally? And so we would test, we would go thyroid adrenal hormone test, we would test vitamin D, we would test mineral levels for zinc, selenium. So there's no more guesswork. I honestly believe that. I believe that everyone can find their answer. In 2018, 2019, you can lab test anything you want, not just blood work, and we're going to figure out what's wrong with you. And what I say is we're going to bring up your deficiencies, and then we're going to remove your toxicities. We do that, you'll feel like you're 10 years younger, minimum.
Nice. So if somebody didn't come into your practice,
yes,
give us a couple of things. Is it kombucha? Is it acidophilus? What is it?
So my biggest thing is to start the day with an easy to digest meal. So a lot of times, because we kind of go in cycles for how we're told to feed our body. It used to be, like chicken sausage and eggs and omelets for breakfast, and now currently it's skipping breakfast altogether. Well, we say, what's best for you? Do you run more catabolic, or is your cortisol typically higher in the morning? Because if it is, and you skip breakfast, your cortisol is only going higher. You're going to put yourself in that fight or flight based state, and no matter what, your body's going to start breaking down liver glycogen anyways to bring sugar into your bloodstream, so that doesn't make sense. So what we do is we base it on the person. If anything, we say start your morning with a smoothie, something easy to digest. It's going to have your antioxidants, your entire breakfast, but blended, so that you don't need to use all of your energy to start the day for digestion, which is about 30% of your energy for the day anyway.
Got it. And then dinner, eat early, go to bed?
Absolutely. So if you can finish dinner 2 to 3 hours before bed, so that when you go to bed, as it's starting to get dark, then your body no longer needs to work for energy for digestion. It can begin to repair your body. So without a doubt, that's a huge one.
Less food is more?
Typically, yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, why don't we take a break, you and I? We'll go drink a kombucha.
We can do that.
And then, or some Spartan tea. Have you tried this Spartan
You know
tea?
what? I just saw it. I can't wait to try it.
You got to try. We'll drink some Spartan tea.
Direct from Sparta.
It is direct from Sparta.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
All right, Spartans, we'll be right back to this episode, but we want to take a second to talk about our awesome sponsor, Tiger Balm.
Yeah, they're good.
Tiger Balm's great. You know, it wasn't too long ago that we were at the Ultra in Iceland, and that cold weather out there, doing those long loops, we had a ton of athletes. Again, you know, it's that familiar smell that you can smell. So when you're back in that staging area, you smell that menthol, you smell that camphor, and you know that tons of Spartans are relying on this stuff, and it really works well.
Well, I think you hit on something when you're talking about the cold weather, because this warms up the muscle, right?
Yeah.
You get out there in that cold sometimes, and your muscles are just going to tighten up and constrict, and this really kind of helps with that as well.
Yeah, so it's awesome. So it comes in 3 different forms, all right? So the muscle rub is
That warms up the muscle.
Warm up yourself. Muscle gel is post.
It's pain relief.
Yep, and then the spray is just a super easy application.
Of more pain relief.
So if the Dear Spartans want to find this, where do they go, Colonel?
I would go where it's sold, which is CVS and Rite Aids,
Yep.
anywhere near you, and they're obviously all over the place.
Get new Tiger Balm Active in gel, rub, and convenient spray.
And visit tigerbalm.com to find the store nearest you. Pain happens.
But suffering's optional. So go grab some Tiger Balm, Spartans.
There you go.
All right, back to the episode.
So, what do you think of that Spartan tea?
I think it's fantastic.
It's good, right?
Yeah. Great aroma to it.
So it grows up in the mountains. 2,800 years of history. Hippocrates and Socrates supposedly drank this tea. The Spartan warriors would take the leaves after they boiled it and rub it all over their cuts and bruises. So you're going to be like superhuman when you live here.
Just maybe. How'd you find out about it?
I was in Sparta, and I'm hiking the mountains, and somebody brings it up. I'm like, I can't believe. I mean, our name of our company is Spartan. Had it like, and so we started figuring out how to package it and ship it around. But enough about me and enough about the tea. What are some cool things that people could do? Like, you know, I have a pretty typical life. I got up this morning at 4:50. I did a giant workout. I've done a few things on stage, 7 or 8 podcasts. I'm feeling tired right now. What could I do to give it a little boost? Because I don't drink coffee.
Right. So there's, in the short term, you can do certain things to give yourself a boost. But what I like to let people know is that if you're feeling tired towards the end of the day, it's because you're supposed to be tired. And that's because our cortisol is at its greatest peak between 6 and 8 a.m. It starts to fall immediately mid-morning, and then it bottoms out at 9:30 p.m. And that's why we're supposed to be really, as humans, in bed somewhere around 9:30, 10 p.m. And we're meant to rise with the sun. And so a lot of people say, no, I'm a night owl. I do my best work at night. I don't disagree with that. The body actually starts to get a peak then in cortisol around 10 p.m. So if you don't get in bed before 10, you can actually feel a second wind. But we are not night owls. We're not nocturnal. We can't hunt at night. We can't see at night. And if you put someone out in the outback for 3 weeks, I'm guaranteeing you they reset their sleep rhythm. Like they will go back to normal sleep. So in the short term, you've got big events going on. You need a boost in the short term. So if you don't want to use caffeine or you want to use a lower dose, you would use green tea. Something with a little bit of theobromine where the stimulant's not going to be as great. So instead of the core being like that for caffeine, for coffee, yours would be more sustained. Or you could use adaptogens such as rhodiola mixed with ashwagandha, mixed with L-theanine so you don't get the big spike. Those work tremendously as well. Licorice root is another great one that will give you energy.
But the problem is, if you're supposed to be in bed at 9:30 and you start doing this late in the day, that's going to screw up your sleep pattern.
That's why it can only be for the short term. So I travel all around the world, literally speaking, all of those things. I need to reset myself time zone-wise. So I will, in the short term, use melatonin to get into a time zone to put myself to sleep, and then I will use a little bit of the caffeine to wake myself back up. But that's not meant to be an ongoing thing. So if you say, okay, I have 3 to 5, if you're a client that comes to me, I have 3 to 5 days where I need to be in my peak because I'm going to be speaking every day, I'm going to be entertaining until midnight, I'm only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I say, okay, here's what we're going to do for a week, but then I need a recovery week after that. Because if not, you're going to start to burn out. And when you burn out, you're not going to be at your peak, so then you're going to really rely on medications, caffeine, et cetera, to get going.
So I didn't know about the recovery week. It's been 40 years.
That's right. There's no periodization model.
I didn't know about the recovery week. Now you tell me?
We have it in exercise, right? Why wouldn't we have it with life and hard work? You can't work out. You can't be at your best every single workout. Your body will break down.
So that's what happened.
That's right.
40 years. It's catching up. All right, so that's recovery.
Yes.
What about like saunas and steam rooms and all that stuff?
Huge advocate of saunas, especially with the research that we have right now. The only reason
infrared sauna?
Infrared and sauna both work great, but for different reasons, basically. So if we look at a regular sauna, it's somewhere around 180 to 200 degrees. It's called a Finnish sauna. Been around for literally thousands of years. They used to dig holes in the ground, put animal hide on top, and that would be a sauna. They would do smoke pits down there. So one of the big things is that there's a great study that just came out a couple years back. 19 minutes per day, 5 days per week, decreased all-cause mortality by 42% and decreased cardiovascular risk of death by 63%.
For 19 minutes a day in the sauna.
That's it.
Steam room, same or no?
Well, so steam room will give you the benefit. The problem with the steam room is that most aren't water filtered, which means you're breathing in chlorine and fluoride vapors, which is really dangerous for your body.
Got it. So you'd prefer the dry...
Prefer the dry sauna, and if you're going to do the infrared sauna, you just need to basically double that time. Because the infrared sauna is going to be at somewhere around 120 to 150 degrees. You get the benefits of the mid, far, near infrared, which is great for reducing mercury load in the body or heavy metals as well.
What do you think the reason is for all the benefits of that sauna? Just sweating out toxins? Or
sweating out toxins is definitely part of it, but there's actually changes in the body which have to do with apoptosis and how cell-programmed death happens, and when you heat up the body that much, it's killing viruses and pathogens. So there's a lot that goes on with the sauna.
Best time to use it? Early morning, late at night?
I'm not an advocate as much anymore. That's something that's changed over the last 5 years or so. As people start to get a little older, with stimulating your body very early in the morning. I believe in it. I believe that you need to get the body moving, move the lymphatic system. But if you overstimulate it, you can really short-circuit yourself for the rest of the day. So I would love to see it mid-morning, mid-afternoon. I think that would be great. It's also actually relaxing. So you could do it in the evening because it's great what's called parasympathetic nervous system stimulators.
But if you're going to go to bed by 9:30, you had dinner at, say 6:30. What, after dinner?
You could do after dinner, and then you could
you could have dinner in the sauna.
Dinner in the sauna. And then you
cook
can
your
shower
food
right
in the sauna.
At the same, cook yourself, cook your food. Yeah, you're good to go.
Save time. People say they don't have time.
You could do that.
What about these cold showers?
So that's something that. So I have a couple controversial things, and one of them is I don't believe in cold showers for everyone.
Okay.
And the reason is that cold showers stimulate dopamine. They stimulate the immune system. Well, if you're someone that's already overactive, like let's just say you're more of the ectomorph type, you're someone that's anxious, you're someone that's always on the go, you're already hyped up in the first place, and you do a cold shower, you're stimulating your body to an even greater level. The people that are a little bit more sluggish, maybe they gain weight more easily, they can benefit a lot from the hot-cold cold first, yes.
And so you like coming out of the sauna for the right person, coming out of the sauna, go right to the cold shower?
For the right person.
For the right person.
Yes. Yep.
What other things you got up your sleeves? We got sauna, we got cold showers, we got going to bed on time, waking up early in the morning, light breakfast, light food.
That's right.
Fasting, 3 days a month I do. Last 3 days of every month. Good or bad?
Fasting's probably the closest thing we have to the fountain of youth, without a doubt.
Awesome.
So as long as the caveat to that is we can't stimulate ourselves while fasting. So we can't be doing hard workouts while fasting. And I know that sometimes it goes against the grain, and I can allow it for a short period of time, but the problem is that when you're fasted, your body's trying to get into what's called a repair or rejuvenating based state. And we don't want to make two processes happen at the same time. So we don't want to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, which is the go, 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 and the parasympathetic nervous system, which is repair. So fasting has been around since the dawn of time, literally. And they did it for rituals, religion, whatever it might be. And it was a period of rest, recuperation, and rebuilding. One of the best things you can do. Yeah.
What else? Give me another one.
Well, there's a couple things that we know expand life. Sauna being one.
Yeah.
Another is predominantly plant-based diet.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
We're aligned there.
And then
I'm basically a doctor.
You basically are. Yes.
I'm a doctor.
I would like to give you that title right now.
Yeah.
And another one that is consistent workouts. So
consistent workouts. I do that too.
Yes.
We are completely aligned on everything except I'm taking cold showers, even though based on your rules I probably shouldn't. Because I'm definitely wound pretty tight. Yes. Full of energy.
So if you think about it, what's more relaxing? Because you want to calm down that nervous system, right?
Yeah.
So if you stimulate it with cold water, it like wakes you up, right? And you kind of jump and pull back. Well, you need the hot shower and the relaxation to calm you down, light massage. So a lot of people, I'm in that same group, is you always want to be on the go. You get hard massage for deep tissue. Everything's like go, go, go. But the problem is that there's the yin and the yang has to take place. So there has to be a balance. If not, the yang starts to just wipe out that, and you start to age fast, you start to break down faster. So we actually want relaxing massage, we want relaxing sauna, we want a relaxing shower to combat our lifestyle, which is always on the go. So it's just about balance, that's it. If someone's lifestyle is not on the go, cold shower, hard deep tissue massage.
I'm definitely more unbalanced, so it would be the unbalanced doctor.
the unbalanced doctor. But you're figuring it out. You're going to be able to
Figuring
implement
it out.
Yeah.
Kombucha. I like to drink kombucha. Is that right?
Kombucha, as long as you don't have any candida overgrowth or SIBO, any small intestinal bacterial overgrowth.
I just got a whole stomach test done. I'm going to send you the results. Maybe you could pick it apart for me, if you don't mind.
Yes.
I've got a little bed of nails that I stand on while I'm typing on my computer. Good, bad?
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, as long as you
Good,
don't
I feel it.
pressure. Yeah.
I mean, it's tough on the family because sometimes they don't see it, they step on it, and that causes problems.
Yeah, I can see
but for me, because if you get on easy, it doesn't poke your feet.
Well, if you look, and in Chinese medicine, they have all the acupressure points at the bottom of the feet, so it can actually be quite relaxing. As long as you don't just step on one little nail with one little part of your foot.
Exactly.
Yes, got to kind of get on there evenly.
Mobility, flexibility, lots of yoga.
One of the most important things you can do, because then you can do your hard workouts, but then you're balancing that with the parasympathetic nervous system activities, the hatha yoga, the stretching, the foam rolling, the self-myofascial release. Yeah.
First thing in the morning, before anything, get up and I drink 2 big glasses of room temperature water with a sprinkle of apple cider vinegar. I mean, a tiny bit up. Good, bad?
I think it's great. Add a little lemon in there, pinch of sea salt, get yourself a natural Gatorade.
We don't even need the doctor.
No.
I mean,
I don't know why I'm here.
This is like, you're awesome. This is great. So there's nothing else to cover. We covered everything. I'd say you don't. Just tune in with us. You're feeling sick? Check with me.
How awesome was that? I know you're more of a traditionalist, so it probably threw you for a loop a little.
Well, it threw me for a loop on a couple things because that's not my realm, right? So
because you don't know what some of those words mean.
I don't. I mean, I seriously didn't. But
I mean, you're a straight Tylenol guy.
Yeah, but Motrin. 4 Motrin 3 times a day, and that pretty much with water cure anything. Well, it's been going on for about 40 years now.
You're looking good.
Seems to be working. All right. So, but I did like when he talked about the Eastern philosophy and Eastern medicines. And don't discount them, right? That it's worked over there. It's worked for thousands of years. And why do we automatically discount them here? And we should bring that over here and embrace it.
Yeah, do you think that exists because if doctors don't have empirical evidence, they discount it? Why do you think that happens?
I think...
I mean, there's certainly a business involved, too.
Yeah.
Not to be a conspiracy guy.
No, but there's probably insurance and lawyers and...
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't. Go.
Well, considering I've hung out with several people that dive into this form of medicine, oftentimes this type of education just isn't even offered within, like, standard MDs, as I understand it, are medical doctors. They're trained in understanding pharmaceuticals and that paradigm and that modality of medicine, right? But the holistic side and the nutritive value and the preventative medicine oftentimes isn't even part of their curriculum. So a personal story for me, being from Connecticut, blessings to that beautiful wild land, but my brother and I both got Lyme disease growing up, and I've been dealing with residual effects of chronic Lyme disease for 12 years. And every time I go to a Western doctor, I'm grateful and joyful for them, but they say, come back in 2 months, you'll feel better. And I go, you guys have been telling me that for 12 years. So I've gone to cranial sacral.
Did you try the Motrin?
Oh, gross. Blessings. I understand. I'm grateful for those things that exist, right? But total game changer. And you too
I think what we get from him, because I definitely lean more your way, growing up with a mother my mother was very much like you. But what I took away from him, he had an open mind to both sides, right?
And
so there's a point in your illness, and we all get sick, where you wave the white flag, and you're like, okay, I've had enough holistic. Right. I'm going to the doctor, right?
And there's the same thing when you wave the white flag at the Western, and you go, you're not giving me answers.
So let's take the best of both worlds.
Totally, it's a hybrid.
And that's exactly what he did, right?
Yeah,
when
which
he was
is
only
excellent.
17, he was sick. Yep. He had the glands and everything going on.
Yep.
And it took him a couple of years, and he finally said, all right, the white flag, in your terms, all right, something's got to be done. And he struck out and did it on his own. And that led him down that path to become the doctor.
I think, but the thing is if you're out there dealing with chronic illness, right, and you've been dealing with Western medicine, again, total utter respect, but have an open mind to these other modalities and try them out and see if it doesn't kind of open a window to some sort of relief for what you're dealing with, because there is ancient history and tons of proven.
I mean, there's a lot of people in China, and there's a lot of people in India.
And they've been a lot healthier.
And they've been there for a long time?
They've been there a long time, and they are expanding their population base.
Yeah, so you guys out there, I mean, let us know if any of you have ever tried holistic medicine and how you feel about it.
Keep that question really simple, right? I want to know what you think.
Yeah.
I want to know what you think.
Or what you do.
Yeah, or what you do.
Yeah.
But before you go, before you go? The saunas.
Ooh, the
sauna.
saunas were a
The
big one.
sauna.
I'm
Who
putting
doesn't love
a
a sauna?
sauna in the house. I'm going in 19
Infrared.
minutes every day, and I'm
And
going
you'll
to see.
live to be
I'm supposed
42%
to-
longer? Is
I'm
that?
going to live 42% longer. I'm going to 142 years old.
Thank
And
God.
so if check back in,
Right.
and I'll still be going here.
Now, what about the cold showers? Because I know that you are
I'm a big
definitely.
fan.
I do them every day. I know he says if you're a go person,
Which is you.
which is me. I do them every day. It makes me feel good.
Anti-inflammatory, helps depression. I mean, go back to our dear friend Wim Hof, right? I mean, there is a lot
love
of
this
science
idea.
behind it.
Something I've been talking about forever. Probably got it from my mom. You can't have a healthy brain without a healthy body. You can't have a healthy body without a healthy brain. And I feel like, especially Wim Hof's reaffirms this. The cold shower reconnects the two.
Yeah, and you know the
It
other
really
thing that,
does.
but the other thing that reconnects the two, right, is they say your first brain is in your gut, is in your stomach, right? And a lot of people are talking about gut flora and gut bacteria. And to be honest, like when I really wasn't feeling well, I had to have someone remind me of like steamed greens, bone broth, like vegetables, nettle tea, dandelion tea. You know, there's all of our friends, these plant allies. Come on, Colonel Knight. I made him lunch today, and you loved it. It was delicious.
But I guess
was it delicious?
It was delicious. My question
See,
is, I'm
even he
standing
likes
next to
it.
two of the most healthy people on the planet.
Oh yeah, right. I'm not saying
but
that.
you both follow a very healthy lifestyle, and you've both been sick. So,
Touche.
so I'm a little bit curious.
You know, don't
McDonald's
listen
and
to him.
Coca-Cola
Don't
for
listen to him
everyone.
because he says the same thing about any prisoner. He's like, well, the guy got caught.
Nyes are built with slightly different genetics.
All right,
So that,
I want to wrap it up. You got to become a subscriber. Tell you know your friends, your family, 500,000 people. We want to get on there as subscribers. Answer the question. We want to hear from you, and stay healthy.
yeah, blessings.
This episode of Spartan Up is brought to you by Tiger Balm Active. Trust Tiger Balm Active for proven pain relief. Get new Tiger Balm Active in gel, rub, and convenient spray.
Or look for Tiger Balm Active at select CVS and Rite Aid locations. And visit tigerbalm.com to find the store nearest you. Pain happens.
Suffering is optional.
Find us on Instagram at Spartan Up Podcast and let us know. You can DM us or tag us in an Instagram story. And remember, we're here for you. We're your partner in resilience for mind and body. We've got experts almost every day of the week to help you stay on track. And every Tuesday, come back for our interviews. See you next time.